so I go, babe, please stop. Please stop.
I said stop. Okay, please don't yell.
And I'm like, I'm not yelling. I said stop. You're making me very uncomfortable. So I ordered this because everybody on TikTok was obsessed with this day one of quarantine, which by the way, he's been teaching me Mandarin during this quarantine, and I've been trying to reteach him English because I don't know why he calls quarantine, and the other day I was trying to say saxophone and he kept calling it saxophone. And I'm like,
What are you doing on the saxophone, sir?
Day one of quarantine, this was going popular. This was popping on TikTok. Everybody on TikTok was like, this is the shit that you gotta do. If you want a solid relationship, you have to do this. If you want relationship goals, you have to do this. I don't see those people no more on TikTok. Everybody is just breaking up with everybody. Everybody hates each other now after living together for months and months and not leaving the house. It's been really, really hard. So we're doing a relationship update while we try to reawaken, revive our relationship a little bit. And we're gonna be doing that with a Luna bean.
What?
A Luna bean. This is a hand mold that you see on TikTok. So you hold hands with your lover and you stick it into here. And look, it says easy, safe, and wiggle friendly. Just like your bang bang tang bits. Bang bang tang bits.
Inappropriate.
It says non-toxic, non-allergenic, and quick setting.
Let me see this. What is this?
I don't know. Will you figure out how to work
So
it?
what are we trying to do?
We're gonna make a hand mold.
Why?
While he figures out how to work that, I'm gonna do a quick relationship update. And the reason that I'm using this microphone, even though I'm not actually using the microphone, like this is not on and recording, is because a couple weeks ago, maybe like a couple months ago, I had decided that I wanted to do a true crime podcast. I was really into the idea. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be my jam. I'm gonna set up some LED lights and I'm gonna talk about the most gruesome crimes in the comfort of my bedroom. And so I thought this would be great to share crimes that I can't do in mukbangs because technically I don't want to lose my appetite and there's so many crimes. Like you can't full-heartedly munch on some fried chicken while you talk about it because it's that dark.
Can we just talk about that right now?
We are, it's our relationship. And so I bought these really nice mics that were like $100. And then he was like, okay, cool, like now do your podcast. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to. And then I got really into like aprons. So then I started researching aprons. Coincidentally, this man walks up to me and he goes,
Hey, how's your podcast going?
you still have those mics, right? And then so I was like, you know what? Now that you bring it up, I was gonna also mention that I was gonna use it for a video, like a vlog.
Yeah.
So, relationship update. I have a lot of unfinished projects that I like to do. I kind of wanted to do a relationship update just because I feel like I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos where everyone has either been like talking about how relationships have been hard during quarantine, but then also not talking about it. So it's been like, yeah, obviously we're working on a relationship. It's been difficult because we can't leave the house, but then it's like done in such a poetic way where I'm like, really? I don't believe that you're having problems. And so I decided
To tell you that I'm having all the problems.
because that's the last thing I want is someone to come to this video and be like, wow, they just have like such a great relationship during quarantine. I feel like some people are falling more in love.
Really?
Yeah,
Like who?
I don't even know.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Just like explain to me. We both already work from home. So why do you think quarantine changes anything?
Because I like to go to Target. You know how in relationships you have small little outlets of where you take out your frustrations and
Yeah.
you need some time apart?
Yeah.
We're not getting any of that. No, we're not. So it's been wild. I think it's also been a little bit more wild because now that a lot more people are occupying the space, there's less spaces either of us can retreat to. And the craziest thing is I feel like normally when you're on Reddit and you start reading about these fights that you have, lots of people post relationship fights. Normally, there's some insane fights. But now, almost everyone on Reddit, as long as it's not their fight, they keep commenting, damn, quarantine's getting the best of us. So I feel like we've been having some stupid fights. For example, the first fight that we had was really intense, and I just remember like we got into a fight one day in the middle of the day, and this was the first time I think we've ever been in such an intense screaming match. Normally, I feel like I'm a screamer. Normally, I'm the one that gets loud, and then he's like,
Okay, please don't yell.
and I'm like, I'm not yelling! But for some reason, we were both screaming at each other to a different level I've never experienced before. And I remember while I was screaming, thinking like, wow, is this the first time he's screamed at me? But like, I didn't even say that because I was like, whatever, I gotta scream back, right? I'm really mature.
I'll scream him.
Like, I'm really mature. And I remember the part where Dan was just sitting in the living room. And I knew in the back of my mind that he could hear us screaming. Like, my mom's in the house. Like, this was a screaming match. Like, the entire house was quiet because everyone was like, oh shit, they're fighting. And we're just screaming at each other. And the worst part of it is, we don't even know why we were screaming at each other. But we refused to let go. So both of us just kept screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And at one point I heard Dan come into our room, like come into like the door opening, and he was like about to knock because like I can hear when people creep up, and then like it'll be quiet, and then one of us will start screaming again, and then I just hear like quiet footsteps away. And then my mom told me afterwards he like tried to approach our door like 10 times because he's like a mediator, so he like wants us to like not fight. Like anytime like our interactions get tense, Dan is always on the side being like, guys, you still love each other.
You still love each other, right?
Normally I'm really like, no, I don't want to like do this in front of my family. No, I feel so bad. I feel like I'm burdening them with my stress now because I'm sure my mom is gonna get stressed if she hears us fight. I'm sure Dan's stressed if they hear us fight. That day, I don't know what it was. We just completely snapped. We were completely yelling at each other for, I want to say, 3 hours. And then finally there was a pause in our fight, a moment of silence.
And his stomach gurgled.
And I looked at him deadpan in the face and I said, are you hungry? And he looked at me and he said, yeah, I'm hungry. And I said, do you want my mom to make us some dumplings? Just like, I could use some dumplings. And so I literally left the room. We were just yelling and then suddenly gurgle, and we're like, are you hungry? And I went outside and I'm like,
Mom, can you make us some dumplings?
like, it wasn't even cool. It wasn't even like, do you want me to go make dumplings? It was like,
I'm gonna go tell my mommy to make us some dumplings after our fight.
like, it was so stupid. And so I go outside, Dan's staring at me like I just walked out butt naked, like he's in shock. And I'm like, we're gonna make some dumplings. And he's like, oh, are you guys okay? And I'm like, yeah, we're just hungry. And I walk back in here and I'm sitting there and he's like, yeah, so when are the dumplings gonna be ready? And I was like, soon. And so we just sat in silence, and then we hear my mom going, hey, the dumplings are ready. And we walk outside and we're holding hands. Like, we didn't even say sorry. Like, nothing happened. We just walk out holding hands, and everyone's looking at us confused as fuck. And we sit down and we're like, this one looks good, you should eat this one. And then he's like, thanks, you like these dumplings, eat this one. And I was like, thanks.
Okay, we sound really stupid.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's the craziest thing. We've never had a fight like that.
So what was the reason?
I feel like we were so stressed from other things that we wanted to take it out on each other, but we didn't have a reason.
I don't think we want to take it out on each other. It's just like we're so
like, it just has to
annoyed.
come out, yeah. And we're like, okay, like maybe we're stressed out from it. And then Patricia came after her lease was up and all of that happened. And that was not a fight, but it was intense. Like another person in the house. Because what I felt was the more people in the house, the less I connect with you. I feel like I have this limit of how much I talk in a day. So let's say it's like 2,000.
Oh, there's a limit. How much you talk in a day?
Infinity?
Yeah, like 23 hours. And so I feel like I have these limits, and anytime there's more people in the house, I have more people I can talk to, and so I talk to you less.
Which is good.
Bad.
Which is bad.
Relationship update, I'm getting life insurance. I feel like I was talking to you less, which then resulted in our next fight. Which this one was so bad. This one happened in front of Patricia, but it really wasn't even like a fight. And I feel like the weird thing with Patricia and my friendship is like we don't talk about good things in our relationship with each other.
So you're talking about bad things only?
Yeah, like Patricia and I, like we don't sit there. We're never like,
Oh, I guess who bought me flowers today? Like, he's so just spontaneous all the time.
like we're like,
Guess who the fucked up again today?
but like that's usually
Isn't
how
that
we
what
talk
every
about
girl
our.
do?
No, there's some girlfriends that like love to just tell you about how perfect their husband is, and then you're just like, what? Yeah, and so we only talk about like the bad parts of our relationship. So it's this very weird friendship where we just like get each other, especially when it comes to our relationships. And so we're thinking about doing a Ouija board. I don't know why in my brain I was on Amazon at 3 in the morning and I thought to myself, you know what, bitch?
You are a bad bitch. You can do whatever you want.
I bought a Ouija board.
board. Comes in the mail. We take it out of the box. It's sitting on the dining table and I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to play with a Ouija board? Like, I don't think I do. And so I'm telling Dan, like, do you want to play with a Ouija board? You like a Ouija board? And he's like, let me look it up. I don't really know what it is. And so we're all on our phones looking up Ouija boards. And so I find this article and it's like 20 things you should never do on a Ouija board. Mind you, it's windy outside. Our motion sensors on the sides of the house are going off because the trees are moving that furiously and it's setting off the motion sensors, and then we're getting alerts on our phone. The lights are on, like all of the like floodlights on the side of the house are on, and I'm like getting nervous that one of my neighbors, he's kind of like a little bit grumpy and like worried that he's gonna complain. And so I'm just sitting there like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And I'm looking up these Ouija board articles and I find one. I click on the 20 things you should never do with a Ouija board. Don't ask about any relationships. Never mention a name of someone who's not in the room with you while you're playing the Ouija board. Don't ask the Ouija board if you're sick. Don't ask the Ouija board when and how you will die.
So basically, you don't do anything.
Yes. Dan's like, okay, so we should never ask the Ouija board to like show itself, like the spirit to show itself. And so I'm like, oh my God.
Because, like I said, it will break the character. Nothing will happen.
No.
But the reasoning is because then you are accepting the spirit into your real life.
Because the game will be a joke.
But also, sir,
What?
I paid $2 for this foam.
I know.
I know.
Okay, so fight number 4. He's talking about this foam, right?
I'm just kidding.
Dan's like, yeah, don't ever ask it to like move a curtain or like flicker the candle if you're here. Turn off the lights if you're here. And so I'm listening and we're like, and Patricia's next to me and she's like, oh my God, this is creepy. And she's like looking up Ouija board and she's like,
Girl, I don't know.
I mean, like if you want it, I don't know, right? And so I'm like, oh shit. Like even Patricia's creeped out, which like she was seemed the less creeped out of me and Dan and Patricia, right? And then Dan goes, oh my God, you should also never ask the Ouija board
To possess you.
and it's like dark, like we don't have all the lights on in the house and we're sitting there and I go,
Oh my God, that's so true.
yeah, that's like a scary movie. Why would anybody even say that? Like that's just creepy. I wouldn't even say that without a Ouija board, right? And my fiance goes,
Really?
and we're like, why are you laughing? And he's like, well, what? That's so stupid. Like, you think if I sit there with the Ouija board going, please possess me, spirit, you think I'm just gonna be possessed? And I'm increasingly getting scared and frustrated. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the first person that dies in a movie. I'm like, babe, stop. Like, it's not funny. And because everyone's there, I wanted to try to make it like calm. So I'm like, babe, stop it. It's not funny. And I'm like giving him those eyes of like, I'm gonna possess you, okay? And so then he goes, so you think I'm just gonna be like, possess me? And then I'm just gonna be like, possess? And so me and Patricia are sitting there like looking at our phones, kind of being like, that's creepy. And I'm like, babe, stop. Like, first of all, weird, but second of all, creepy. And Dan's just on the side laughing, dying. And so I'm like,
Oh my God, they're having a bro moment.
and so I'm trying to think to myself, how do I communicate across to him in a room full of people, hey, not funny, without it being like,
Stop!
but also not,
I said stop.
you know, like what's the middle line? What's the mediocre way of saying please stop, right? And so I go, babe, please stop, please stop. And Dan's laughing, and anytime they get a bromance going, they start hyping each other up. And so he's like, Dan, you think that's funny? Why don't you get possessed? Come on, we can both do it together. Dan, you and I can both get possessed together. And he's like, possessed. And I'm starting to get panicked because I don't know why. It's really dark outside, really windy outside, and we have a Ouija board sitting on our dining table. And so I'm getting creeped out and I said, honey, I said stop, you're making me very uncomfortable. And so then he goes, and everyone gets silent. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry.
I thought you got possessed.
No! Okay, a part of me wanted him to just be like, oh, like it's chill so that everyone else wouldn't feel uncomfortable. And then another part of me wanted to yell at him so badly. And so I'm sitting there and Patricia goes, I know how you feel. And I go, huh? And she goes, it's the worst when they apologize too quickly before you can yell. And I go, huh? And he hears that because literally we're sitting 2 feet away from each other and Patricia's not a good whisperer, okay? And so then he goes, honey, if you want to yell, you can just let it out, right? And Patricia's like, yeah, you better stand up and be like, you know what? And so I'm like, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And I'm just looking at him and he's like, no, really, like if you're uncomfortable with me saying that I'm getting possessed, even though technically, scientifically, it's not possible for me to get possessed, but like if you have a problem with me and if you think it makes you uncomfortable, I'm so sorry.
I understand. It's late. It's scary. It makes you uncomfortable. You know.
I'm sorry.
What? Okay.
And so then I went off on him in front of everyone. I said, listen, sometimes if things make me uncomfortable and it's not something you have to do, then do you have to do it? Probably not. If something I did wasn't that comfortable, like was not something I really wanted to do.
And I respect that.
I understand that.
He's such a troll, and so he did that literally that night, and so then I got really embarrassed that I yelled at him in front of everyone. And again, normally that is so unlike me. I'm the type that will act lovey-dovey with him until we get into the car because I don't want my friends and family to be uncomfortable. Like, it's not that I want people to think I have a perfect relationship. I just don't want to ruin the day for everyone.
You don't want other people to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I don't want to ruin the lunch date or like whatever the gathering was.
Yeah.
But like some people will just fight it out in front of the whole gathering and then you're just like, oof. Yeah, so that was our second fight. And I think after Patricia left, I got really, really sad that she left. But before she left, he wanted to set the house on fire.
Oh my god.
Okay, I need the microphone for this one because it's stupid. I'm just kidding. The next fight, it was about a TikTok hack. I got really excited about TikTok pancake cereal, okay? I showed him it and then he got excited because he was like, wait, I have something I wanted to show you. And then he was like, I was actually saving it for like a romantic day, but since you're doing a TikTok hack video, I'll just do it in the video. And so I was like, oh, cool. And then he's like, okay, so all you guys just come follow me to the bathroom. And Dan's on the side going, oh, fire one? And I remember going, the fire one? What do you mean fire? And so I bring in the fire extinguisher because I'm like, he's probably gonna like light a candle and like put like alcohol on the tip of his finger and like
I just touched the fire. Ha ha.
I'm holding a whole ass fire extinguisher. We go into the bathroom and I'm like, okay, are you gonna turn on the light? He's like, no, keep the lights off. And so he's sitting there in the dark and he goes, okay, record me. And I go, wait, but what are you doing? And then he goes, so all you need for this hack,
Babe, it's so cool.
you're gonna need some hairspray and a lighter. And I said, oh no. And he's saying, no, honey, it's gonna be so fun and so romantic and so cool. And I remember thinking to myself, flashbacks to the middle school days, because when I was in middle school, there was this thing that was so viral and so many parents were so upset because these kids, they'd be in their rooms and they would fart. And the minute that they fart, they would spray hairspray and get a lighter and light it on fire. Like, you know, Khaleesi's dragon?
Yeah.
But the mouth was your butthole.
And like, I don't know if the fart has anything to do with it. I think it's just the hairspray and the lighter. The fart probably has absolutely nothing to do with it, but that's just the way that the trend works. And I remember so many people would get injured. Nobody that I personally knew, but on the news, because apparently if you go like this to the hairspray and you light it on fire and you have this giant thing of fire, on the bottom of the hairspray, it says that it's highly flammable. Some people had issues where things are catching on fire because this is a huge spray and then fire spray. And then the second thing was some people, the really unlucky ones, the hairspray container would explode.
So what I was planning on doing is different, right?
Yeah.
I was just gonna spray something, draw a heart on the ground, remove that hairspray very far away.
Are you sure?
Then light the thing on fire, and it will lit a little fire heart for like 2 seconds, and then it will go out. As long as there's no flammables around the fire, we're good.
But I see your concern.
And I remember maybe like a year or two ago, there was one of the biggest fires in Northern California, I believe, and the culprit of it all was some idiota who like wanted to set some house on fire for like arson reasons. I don't even remember what it was, but it was an idiota. It wasn't like a natural fire. It wasn't a natural disaster. And so I'm like, listen,
I don't want to be that idiota
that makes all of Los Angeles be burnt to flames, especially at a time like this. You know?
That's very responsible of you.
Thank you so
and
much.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You know, I blame TikTok.
Yeah.
Was-
Did it not have a warning sign at the bottom? So TikTok,
No.
like the dangerous TikToks, TikTok, the app adds a warning sign now
Oh, really?
that says like, don't do this at home or something.
No, that one didn't. No.
That one was a really small fight. It was like a fight that we got over really quickly, and then it turned into a life talk of like, I forgot what it turned into. Like
It
what we
just-
want to name our kid if we have a kid. And like it just got really weird. We were like, Ezra's a good name. We haven't really fought since then. Like I feel like now if you ever say something like that's kind of snappy towards me, like my first thought isn't like, oh my god. But it's more like, he's probably stressed, whatever. But just you wait, once this is over, I will hold you accountable. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wow, well, should we go make a hand mold?
To show everyone that we're still hashtag relationship goals. So this is the door to our bedroom, and right when I step here, the bedroom has a different thermostat than the rest of the house, and I can already feel the coldness. And I already feel like I need to put on 25 pairs of sweatpants because this man likes to sleep in Alaska. But also, this man doesn't want to do a hand mold with me because this is the directions. It's longer than an IKEA bookshelf.
so complicated.
This is intense. It's a 2-page instruction. Bro, this is so basic. I could literally buy this on Amazon. And who's to say that's not our hands?
Exactly. Who's to say that?
You know what? I love this relationship with you.
I got you.
All right, let's go eat. And Dan, what do you think of our relationship?
I think you guys are just meant to be. For real. No, you guys have similar personalities in a way.
No, we don't.
We literally
Not
have
personalities, but like goals. But you guys do have different personalities by a lot. But that's a good thing. You don't want the same personality, right?
I already see a flood of comments going, I'm literally the opposite of Dan Dan. So weird. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We were gonna do the hand mold, but it looked like a whole ass project, and my mom made dinner. And I hate when I make her wait because it's like she likes to give us dinner when it's fresh and hot, and she like really finds joy in that. I think that's her outlet during quarantine, is to learn new recipes. So we're gonna go and lie and tell her it's the best thing we've ever had. I'm just kidding. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let me know in the comments, how's your relationship going? Do you live with your significant other, or how's it going not being able to see your significant other? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh,